Cool, we are live. Nice. Yeah, so today's date is September 29th, 2022, and this is the OLM Issue Triage meeting. So today I had a couple of things in mind. I was hoping to triage some of our stale issues to see what we can close out. And I was also hoping to go ahead and open the next milestone for v0.12.0 of RecPack. So as it stands right now, are there any questions before we get started? Cool. It looks like Alex just joined as well. I don't know how late in you joined, Alex, but we are hoping to do two things. Triage some of the stale issues that we have open in the repository as marked by the bot, and to also go ahead and open up a v0.12.0 milestone so that we kind of can agree on the work that we want to accomplish as a community in the coming weeks. Yeah, so I think everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see it.
Great, awesome, fantastic. Let's see. Okay, so I created a couple of things. I think since our last triage meeting, we talked about creating a stale label, which I did, or a staleness bot. So there's a GitHub action bot that got merged that allows us to filter out the backlog in terms of staleness and automatically close out stale PRs. For everyone's edification, a stale PR is going to be something that an issue that is sat for 60 days or a PR that is sat for 30 days. A rotten PR is one that has been closed out after 30 days of becoming stale. So that is where we are at right now. And yeah, I'm just going to be going through a couple of these stale issues and just seeing what we can close out because we have quite a few. And I think just starting to kind of like at the oldest and moving up probably makes sense. So let's see. Sure. Let's go ahead and start with packaging and life cycling API and controllers separately. I'm just reading through it at the moment, so let's give it a second to read. So it looks like this was opened several months ago and is talking about deleting bundle instances. So it's old in that sense that we have moved on to bundle deployments. And Tim, I see you just joined, so you probably have some context on this. But we are just going, just for your context, we're going through and grooming the stale issue backlog. Because we have a lot of stale issues. I'm just trying to clean them up. So we'll try to do like 10 of those and then just the oldest ones specifically. And then after that, we'll probably move on to creating a milestone for work that we want to work on moving forward. And we'll close out the old one as well. Because we cut a v0.11 release recently for some minor fixes that we had out. But as for this one, decoupling between API and controllers. And then it links out to this. Interesting. This looks like this probably has a lot of context that we would want before closing this out. It's not kind of like a free throw to close this out, mainly because there's a lot of context to catch up on. So I'm going to go ahead and move on, unless there's anyone that feels strongly about one way or another about this and like has an opinion on what they wanted to share. But just reading through it, there's a lot of context here that I don't have yet, and we would take like maybe 10 minutes to read through all that.
Is there a way we want to mark stuff to know that we
probably won't be able to finish it off the cusp, or something that you need to revisit.
Like something that needs to be reviewed again.
Yeah, I mean, like, or maybe like tag it as something that like you need to follow up async with somebody, or like on the ticket itself,
Yeah. Let's see if we can do that.
Or even just like reaching out to Joe right here and just just asking him, hey, do we still need to do this? We saw that it's before it goes rotten.
Is Joe still in, or is he out of office? Yeah.
He's out now.
Okay. I'm trying to find like a good. I guess we probably want to do needs information or.
Well, what are we doing right now? I was looking at Slack.
Yeah,
we're just looking at whether this is still applicable.
We're going through the stale issue backlog and cleaning them up. And I was just saying that there's a lot of context here. So we should probably read through it and follow up with more comprehensive thought here. I was just reading through it a little bit and didn't quite follow. And I was just saying that unless we all have like a really strong opinion one way or another for this, or somebody has better context, we could probably move on to something else so that we're not using too much of the time on one issue.
Yeah, I'd mark this as on stale. I mean, this is probably just more of like a discussion, potential best practices. I mean, it's not something functionally we need to do. It's just kind of guidance around how do we structure bundles and bundle instances.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to mark this.
Not a huge priority right now, though.
What's priority right now?
I said just not a huge priority right now.
Sure. I'm just gonna mark this as lifecycle frozen and remove the stale label, because it sounds like if it's not stale and it's something we want to come back to, it can't become stale. So we should just mark it as frozen until we want to come to it.
Could we just convert this to a discussion instead of an issue if it's it's more of a design philosophy?
I mean, there are questions being asked in this issue, so it makes sense to likely convert it to a discussion. I'll make a note here. Okay, I'm going to, I'll work on that later to get this converted into a discussion and wire everything up. But let's go ahead and move on to some of the other issues that we have open. Yeah, I was just hoping to do a couple of these. We have about 2 pages worth, well, a little bit over 1 page worth of stale issues. So I think it's good to go through these. Okay, create a shared library for bootstrapping provisioners. This was created around a similar time to that last one. I think we've had conversations about this to the point where it feels like this is a duplicate issue of some ones that we have open now regarding provisioner code. It might even be closable, honestly, because I think we have some PRs out for this already. I don't see anything linked to this, but Aki, I think you've been working on this a little bit, and our priorities have kind of shifted in terms of how and when we want to do this. But Tim and Aki, you probably have a better context around that work than I would.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is going to belong in RuckPack heading forward. I don't know what the organization is yet.
I mean, this references KuberPack, for example. So I feel like this is old enough to just close out, mainly because we have, let me find them real quick, but we have some issues that are related to shared provisioner code.
I think it's fine. Just close it out.
Yeah, there's like dry up, copy pasted provisioner reconciler. It's one that's kind of related. Yeah, I'm just going to mark this as closed. and definitely sat in the backlog for a while. That was a true statement. Yeah, I'm gonna mark this as closed and just mention that there's some duplicate issues out around this. Yeah, like these unpacker exports and the storage exports and things like that. I think we're
Yeah, something like I think the abstract says out of tree provision or something.
Yeah, I think that's right. Out of, I'm sorry, this is PRs. Yeah, there we go. Let's link these two so that we can move on. Okay. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, support transforming registry v1 bundles to plain Kth bundles. This is already, is this done? Talked about this a little bit more recently, related to 449. Bundle conversion API.
This is probably another thing where it's unclear whether it lives in Ruckpack. Still valuable.
Oh, this is like a CLI tool that converts over, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a library implementation that the registry v1 provisioner would leverage, and then you'd attach a CLI using that same library. But
And this is
more or
what
less,
Ryan was working on before I think he left. Is that right? There was a PR link that relates to this, is what you mentioned, where he made a bundle conversion CLI. There was a bunch of code here or a bunch of refactoring, I think, when I last saw this. Maybe this is a different PR than I'm thinking of. But yeah, this is I think when Ryan was working on Ruckpack, this is what he was working on. Yeah, I say that we freeze this one if we want to come back to this issue specifically. I think for right now, we do this already kind of on the fly when you provision a registry. When you create a registry bundle deployment, we convert that into plain manifests through the plain controller provisioner, sorry, plain provisioner. So I think that the functionality is kind of there, but I think the intent here is to convert like more permanently a registry bundle into a plain bundle, if I'm understanding that right. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this down and freeze it. Just link that, mention that.
Yeah, his code is checked in a different branch. So the Kupack has another branch called bundle convert package.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. Nobody merged it, so it's there.
You're saying Kuberpack does?
Yeah. Ruckpack. Ruckpack has different branch called
Yeah,
bundle.
yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, that was what Ryan was working on before he left. This brand bundle convert package. This one.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, this is super old, but this is what he was working on before he left.
So that is the base of the CLI. I think he's using that branch to implement the CLI side.
Right. Yeah, add package for handling bundle formats. Yeah, so this is where he was using some Go 1.18 interfaces to build out, or sorry, 1.18 generics to build out a better structure for our bundles. So that you could do things like this, like bundle.convert, like that. So I think really this PR then becomes updating that branch to be Ruckpack has changed so much since that branch was made. So I think bringing that up to date is probably what makes sense. So I'm going to freeze this and I'm going to do this.
There's a compare endpoint there in favor of a tree.
Sure. Sorry, I have a bunch of stuff on my screen. There's this, you probably can see my mouse moving, but there's this like bar that Zoom has. How do I do a comparison? I always get here on accident, but never know how to do it. Does this look good to you, Tim? Let's see.
I was just gonna say, just like the actual branch versus the compare diff.
I see what you meant. Sorry. Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right, let's see. I think I'm still sharing, so we're good. Let's see here. Right, we were on the stale ones. Oops. All right, we've gotten down to a single page now, which is nice. So re-implement the registry v1 provisioner. This was made around similar time to the last one. Remove the registry provisioner in the short term while we focus on. I don't think this is something we can do. I don't think we can remove it at least. Oh, this removed it. Oh, I see. Right. This is back when we had. This is when we removed the registry v1 provisioner to focus on the plain one, and then this PR was made so that we can track re-implementing it. So I think we can close this one out then. Or is this, do we still want to have this open to be a bit more officiated? Do you see what I'm saying here? Anyone? Tim or Rocky?
I'd probably just keep it open, I guess. We don't have a bundle to pull. I mean, we just leverage the plain provisioner. It's unclear whether we want to continue with that pattern. We also do some like auto magic under the hood, which kind of goes against the what you see is what you get. So there might be some reevaluating the implementation here.
All right. Okay, let's get up to date with this real quick. This is marked as priority soon in March 17th. Should we, it's already in the backlog. Should we make this be priority important long-term? Remove the stale label, remove the needs refinement label?
I think we can just close it.
What
I
is,
think Joe did some benchmarking and didn't like the results. We have a different implementation for pod logs for some bundle formats.
so that's what I was leaning towards. I thought we had overhauled this recently. Do we know what commit that happened in? Or at least what PR? What would that be related to? It's just a series of PRs that Joe had done around this. Cool. Or nested bundle directory structures.
Yeah, I think we can close this. I think so. This one it doesn't have any use case for now, and also it complicates the uninstall order. So I think we don't need to implement this now.
So you're saying, so just to get clarification, this is asking for us to support nested bundle directories. So if you have a bundle that has the manifests, you could create another folder inside of that.
Right. So manifest directory has subdirectory that also has some manifest YAML files.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, right. You had taken a look at this for a while, right? Or you took it a while ago.
Yes. Then I cancel it. So because the reason is so it's complicate the uninstall process, and also there are no use case for now. So
right. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you added as something that makes it so that we don't do anything. Sorry, I was reading chat. You made a PR that makes it so that nested directories don't affect anything when they do have.
So yeah, I created a PR that handle the nested directory manifest files, but I mean install side works, but that may be implications for some difficulty for the uninstall side. So I think Joe says it may not be worth to implement if there are no use case.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think you could just unwind the directory after unpacking it and then store it as a flat directory, in which case I think the uninstall would be a bit simpler, but we don't have any use cases. This is fine to close out.
All right. I think this is still something we want. So I'm just going to mark it as unstale. And I think this is actually, well, is this a good first issue? I wonder. I think it's relatively simple to just change the, well, we would have to, what would we have to do for that? We would have to create like a core provisioner that reads all incoming like CRD or sorry, bundle deployments, see if it has a provisioner ID set, and if it doesn't, then error out. Jordan, right now we have a lifecycle frozen tag, which lets you get around the stale issue. So you might have seen me a second ago marking things as lifecycle frozen. That means that it can no longer go stale. I think that is kind of different than priority long term. We could the bot to do that though. I mean, it's up to us. It's totally doable. I think that lifecycle frozen does kind of imply, hey, this is priority long term, and also it isn't stale if we have it marked as lifecycle frozen. Because I think long term issues can still get marked as stale. Yeah, I think we probably just freeze this and come back to it when we want it. I don't know if there's any objections to that. Okay, cool. Keep on going. I think you took a look at this at some point, Tim. Cache in our GitHub work, GitHub Actions.
I would just close this.
Cool. And reasoning for that?
I mean, it's pretty negligible given end-to-end's gonna, I mean, our end-to-end feedback loop's pretty quick, but you know, these aren't, I think the relevant ones were they're still much quicker than the end-to-end feedback. So investing in caching it doesn't make much sense to me. Might be still worthwhile. I'm not too sure.
Let's see. Okay. Sounds good to me. This is something we've talked about back and forth for a while. Bundle metadata. I think Dan even made a HackMD before he left. Yeah. That you took a look at as well. I think I also took a look at this. Do we want metadata in our bundle for plain v0? And I guess as a follow-up question, I get technically registry bundles have plain v0 metadata. I guess Helm does kind of as well. So it might make sense to enable this. I mean, what kind of things would we want inside of there? I think this shows the structure that we would have, which is we have a GVK style YAML file that defines this sort of stuff.
I think it's on the roadmap.
Do we have a roadmap that is there like a roadmap documented somewhere?
In my head.
In your head? Gotcha. Okay, cool. I'm gonna mark this as lifecycle frozen. And I'm going to say that this is on the roadmap. I think this is actually, no, it's not. We haven't fixed this yet. This is a super old issue, but this is something that we were working on. I tried a little bit to do this. I got it working where we no longer have a shell attached to our Ruckback image, but we need the CP binary. So we need to do something else there instead. I think OLM does something different. I don't even know if this is really something we want to focus on. I mean, like I think it's something we want long-term to not have to have a shell. It'll take a pretty significant refactor or at least addition of resources in order to do this though. So I think probably freezing this one as well and saying that we want to come back to this. It is the reason. I think that all of the reason why is already captured inside of here. It's a little bit out of date with this Docker file that probably doesn't exist anymore. Oh, it does. Oh no, it's even still relevant. Cool. Yeah, so I think we just freeze this one. Come back to it when it makes sense. We got a little bit close to this when we were doing the PSA stuff. So there is some good context there. All right, let's do one more and then move on to create a milestone. So it looks like Dan is highlighting an edge case here where the SHA of an image changes at the same time that we're installing content, which therefore makes it so that external changes can be applied. I think.
I think we can close this out.
Did we go ahead?
I was going to say, yeah, we have some barriers between the unpacking and installation. So once it's unpacked, changing SHA is not going to do much.
Okay. Cool. We got through quite a few issues there, so that's good. We got it down to a single page now, I think. Yeah, so we can kind of slowly whittle this off over time, but I think we got some of the super old ones out of the way, which is good. We still have quite a few old ones, but we're getting closer to getting those done. Cool. We have a few closed that are marked as stale too. Probably should remove the staleness on them. Okay, cool. So do we want to go ahead and close out the old milestone and bring in some work that we want to work on? Any objections or questions before we do that? Cool. So I went ahead and created this 0.12 milestone. We have the backlog and we have this 0.11 one. What I was hoping we could do is we could figure this is all the work that was planned but not in the current 0.11 release. It'd be great if we could figure out what exactly we want in and don't want in the next milestone. So I think one contentious one that we probably want to pull out of the next one is out of tree provisioner implementations. Any kind of thought as to put it into the next milestone, and like any dissent on that?
It's a backlog.
Cool. Let's go ahead and move this in the backlog then. I think this one can be closed with Joe's recent PR. Yeah, this introduced alpha bootstrap command. So I'm actually going to go ahead and close this one out. Unless we have any problems with that. Cool.
I think this is talking about runtime.
So it was saying, Alex, you made this, but Joe made this PR, this alpha bootstrap command that allows us to do, Rugpack is able to then inherit resources via it. We can support adoption of existing cluster objects. For example, we apply something and then we alpha bootstrap that stuff.
Yeah, can you remind me what the original one was, what I posted? Sorry.
Yeah, you were pushing for having the ability to inherit resources that get created. So
yeah, this one was created at the request of Joe at the time.
Right. And then Joe made
Did
this
we-
PR, which does, I think, what we want out of that.
Did we document any of this?
I don't know if we have any docs on Rugpack Cuddle. So there's that. We probably want to create some docs maybe as a follow-up around Rugpack Cuddle. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a strong opinion. I would just update the tag that this landed in then. The Joe's PR.
Update the tag.
Yeah, on the issue Alex created. So if you go to back to that, I think it probably landed in 0.10 or 0.11, one of those. Oh, it definitely didn't land in 0.11. It probably landed in.
We can look at the releases and see where this commit went in. Yeah, real quick. This is called introduce. Yeah, so this went in 0.9. So in that case, I think this would probably go in the 0.9 milestone. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Cool. Sweet. All right, improve the local source type.
This is backlog.
All right. Looks like we have some conversation here. Got it. Something we probably should get to. I think that you said there's an ongoing effort to change on this. Looks like we've carried it release to release. This will be the 4th time now. Any thoughts on bringing this into carrying this the 4th one more time into 0.12? All right, I'll go ahead and do that then. One provisioner doesn't dynamically reconcile underlying bundle contents. Aki, do you have any? I think you were assigned this one.
Yes. So the code fix is there, but it is kind of work around the missing function of Helm plugin. So Joe made a change in the Helm plugin side, but they haven't cut the release. So still, I cannot use that functionality. So, but still, my PR has some workaround code not to use that change.
Okay.
But I don't. Nobody approved it, so it's hanging there. Maybe Joe want to wait until the Helm plugin.
Yeah, I believe that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with using a pseudo version as long as there's a to-do that removes the pseudo version once a tag gets cut.
Okay, it sounds like I'm fine with that as well. It sounds like we have a path forward for that, so I'm good to bring this into the next release or the next milestone. I think that's something we can get done, so I'll go ahead and move that over. Cool. I'll try to review that sometime, hopefully tomorrow. Aki, I have a bunch of PRs I have to catch up on. Helm chart into namespaces. I think I remember this.
This is something. Yeah, this is something we should definitely, if it's technically possible, we should definitely tackle. Because I think it's like the main functionality missing from this provisioner.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. I agree. In fact, I think we probably should mark this as pretty high. We can, once we get into the actual next milestone, we can order everything so that it makes sense.
Yeah, change for this in the Helm plugin side, also in the release. I mean, it checked in by Joe. So
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I think with that, how do I close up? I think I have to go to here. Cool. With that, I think we're good. So we have 3 issues inside of here. I clicked at it. Oops. Yeah, I was saying we should move this one up to the top. This one probably to the bottom. Why does it do that? That's interesting. Cool. So those are the 3 we have currently in the release. Looking at the issue backlog, we probably look at important soon. That are in the backlog.
Oh, I think the current plan is to land Joe's dry stuff and then the customized provisioner this upcoming release.
We have the customized provisioner as a issue.
Yeah, there should be an issue. I mean, it's probably just the top of the backlog.
Here it is. Okay. And the dry stuff that you were talking about? the stuff right here.
Yeah.
That reminds me, we probably have a couple of issues not in a milestone right now, so we should probably take a look at those. This is the query. Yeah, here we go. Whoa.
I want
Okay.
to sort by issue too. Instead of PRs.
Oh, is this not just issues? Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think it might be, yeah, is issue.
So these are all the ones we have that don't have issues. That's actually quite a lot.
It's probably is open maybe.
Oh, right. Most of these are closed. Good point. There we go. So we have these 10. I don't think this should be an issue. We probably should move this to a discussion.
Yeah, agreed.
Do you think we can close this issue out with the, okay, I was thinking about doing this. We can close this issue out, and if they want to follow up on it, I was going to have them reopen this in a discussion. Does that sound good?
I think we just convert this to a discussion, to be honest.
Is that something you can do?
Yeah, if you scroll down. Right on the bottom, right?
Ah,
Keep going down, yep.
cool. Q&A. Look good?
Let's do it.
Beautiful. Cool. Customize based bundles. This looks similar to the customized provisioner, right?
I mean, this is just the tracking issue. Like you might have put the implementation PR in the milestone.
Oh, you're right. I did do that. Let me fix that up real quick. My bad there. Oh, I see. That's interesting. Here we go. Okay, cool. And customized manifest for the provision or deployment should specify requests. Okay, and you have a PR out for this already, Aki?
Yes, I created this morning.
Cool. I'm going to assign that to you real quick then.
Yep.
And we can pull it into this milestone since it'll get in during this. Cool. CLI provision or flag for enabling leader election. What do you think, Tim? Do you want this in this next release?
Just be a backlog item.
Cool.
Seems like backlog might be fine here.
I was just about to say that, yeah. Cool. I think that cleans them all up. Yeah, cool. And we can go back to our milestones again. Up in here. So it leaves us with 6 items in here. Most of them are assigned. We also can reorient this to be like that. And let's see. Okay, cool. Do we have anything else on the top of our head that we want to add into this? see what we got in here. Probably can fit like 2 more things in there.
What are we trying to do? Add more stuff to the next release?
Yeah, most of the stuff in the next release is, well, I guess if it's already, I was just gonna say most of it's assigned already. So if anybody wanted to get any other work done, we would have to take work from people. This is the only one that doesn't have an assignee right now.
I think Joe already has a PR up. I mean, I don't have any capacity for back this going forward, so it might just be a lit crowd anyways. I don't think we need to balloon
Let's
it.
just do this for now, and if we have more work we want to pull in, we can pull it into this milestone before we release it. That sound good to everyone?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. In that case, we want to stop sharing. And